I've been thinking all week about how character design in general, in not just video games, but in art in general, is so important. Because it is the thing that will make your whole video game, your manga, your anime distinctive from other shows, other games, other anime, and it's the thing that will make you be remembered in a lot of ways. I think a lot of times we don't even talk about character design as much as we probably should. I love to see great characters, and you can tell from a lot of playthroughs I play, whether it's Pokemon right now or Genshin right now, good character design really captivates me and makes me remember those characters. The reason I want to talk about character design is really, and what I've been thinking about character design is really just been the passing of the great Akira Toriyama. Akira Toriyama is, or was, one of the greatest artists of all time, and honestly, the creator of Dragon Ball, the creator of Sandland, the character designer for stuff like Dragon Quest and Blue Dragon, games that actually mean a lot to me. Dragon Quest 7, 8, and 11 are three of my favorite games ever made. And really, I think a lot of that has to do with the character design. He had so much of an influence on the world, and those character designs had a big influence on me. I really love the Dragon Quest character designs. There's something that I think about nearly once a week. And not only that, I think it's the character designs that really help you remember those characters and also help you remember the artist that made those characters as well. You want your characters to be distinctive. You want from people to a mile away to be able to notice what your characters look like. Oh, I look at that. That's Toriyama's designs. And that's what happened with his work. And it's not just his work that does that too. There's so many great artists that have that as well. I think of Naoki Urasawa, how you can notice his work in 20th Century Boys, Monster, Pluto, Asadora, Yawara. You notice his work from a mile away, and you're like, oh, that is his work. You can look at Mitsuru Adachi, who made Cross Game, and again, you notice his art style from a mile away. That's his art style, and it separates himself from every other artist in the entire world, in the entire universe, really. Or you could look at Okubo for Soul Eater, or Fire Force. Just characters that will live on forever, but characters that are so distinctive to their style. And it's not just mangas and artwork and artists and anime and things like that. It's also video games that I feel like are the same. You look at Akihiko Yoshida's work for Final Fantasy XII. Those characters are always incredible to look at. Fumito Ueda for stuff like Shadow of the Colossus and Ico. Or even the Danganronpa character designs, which was done by Kama Sasaki, if I'm pronouncing that name right. I never really always get those names completely right. Character design can make or break how I feel about characters, and bad ones won't ruin games completely for me, but if I have to look at a bad character design for 40 hours, it's not the greatest feeling in the world. It really isn't the greatest feeling at all. And that's why I think it's always a good idea to have a great character designer for your games. And it's not about being wacky. A lot of people look at Japanese character designs and go, oh, it's just wacky, that's what you like it. If a character has a design that fits their character and really represents them well, I don't care if it's wacky or if it's tame or whatever it is, as long as it's good. Today I wanted to talk about 20 character designs that I love. Just name out 20 character designs that I think are honestly fantastic. This is really difficult to do, as I originally had 60 on the list, but I narrowed it down to around 20 or 21 because one of them is grouped together. I kind of cheated. Tidus from Final Fantasy X, Nier from Nier Replicant, Yorda from Ico, Ice Boy, our boy Ice Boy Firmament. I call him Ice Boy for so long. Firmament? I can never pronounce his name right. Genshin Impact. Soda from Danganronpa, Naoto Shiragane, Persona 4 Golden, the Luminary in Dragon Quest XI, Ryo Hazuki from Shenmue, Muse Egret from Trails of Cold Steel 4, Penelo from Final Fantasy XII, Fran from Final Fantasy XII, Emil from Nier Replicant, Ike and the Homunculus from Shadow of Memories. Really great designs. Nanashi from Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse, Horong from Tekken, Kaim from Lost Odyssey, Siegmeyer from Dark Souls, Keitaro from 13 Sentinels, and Yuffie from Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I guess the Intergrade version as well. Just a lot of really fantastic designs, and it wasn't it was really difficult to go through a list and just pick out some designs I like, but I wanted to show you what I think is a good design. And you can see it on the screen, there's a lot of differences between them all. There's really different, they're not all the same. They're not all the same, they don't have to be the same. They don't have to be wacky, some of them are just really good, and they fit their characters perfectly. If I take Nanashi from that list from Shin Megami Tensei 4, and I can just talk about him in general, you look at his hair right away, it's really cool. It fits his head, but it's really cool. It fits his eyes. All of his hair is the first thing you notice, because it's actually one of my favorite hairstyles in video game history. But not only that, like he has a jumpsuit on, which is usually hard to pull off, but like it's really tight on the body and like has a nice color, which again suits his hair, suits the style of his face, suits his eye color even as well, and suits his character down to a T also. There's one leg raised up on the pants as well, like LL Cool J almost, and it's unnecessary, but it adds a nice touch to the character. And the little touches are usually what makes or breaks like any character design, and I like the design a lot. But you can look at the opposite side of the spectrum completely, and you look at Keitaro in 13 Sentinels. This is a game that's full of life and full of beautiful character designs, just like all these games are that I laid out, or just like most games that I love are. But like, this has some beautiful, beautiful character designs. Like in Shin Megami Tensei 4, by the way. Most Shin Megami Tensei characters do have really great designs, but in Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse in general, beautiful designs. But 13 Sentinels is a game that's full of life and beautiful character designs and amazing looking visuals. And of course, you can have like the craziest designs ever, and you look at that with say something like Nanashi or maybe something like Tidus from Final Fantasy X, but as long as it fits the character, that's what matters. With Keitaro in 13 Sentinels, the reason why I love his character design is because it is tame. It's on the opposite side of the spectrum from Nanashi. It has a simple toned down nature. He has a uniform, and it's not like flashy, it's not like this brightly colored outfit, his hair isn't crazy, it's literally just this normal guy, Keitaro, with his normal outfit. And he wears his cap. This shows that he's still loyal. He will not get rid of that cap. It shows he's still loyal to the army that he fought in. Shows he's a loyal person in general. He also places it over his eyes whenever he gets nervous, and that's a really adorable thing. It's something so cool to add to your character designs as well, that they interact with their own outfits. It's really, really smart. He has a clean, buttoned-up outfit, and this is kind of shows he's kind of by the book kind of guy. But he's kind of like, hey, what you see is what you get. He's a very good person. He's not going to turn his back on you. He's loyal, and you can trust him. He has a lot of honesty to him, and that shows so much in his character design. And that's why making a character design that fits the character, I think, is just so important. And the reason I chose Nanashi and also at the same time chose Keitaro is because they are completely different sides of character design. Because I feel like all the time when people go, oh, you just want characters to look really weird and wacky and have big brightly colored hair and have the crazy designs. You can have the crazy design of Nanashi, and then the other side of things have a very tame design like Keitaro, as long as they fit the character. And that's what I look for in a great character design. Yes, sometimes you can look at a character design and go, oh, they're really beautiful, they're really hot, they're all this stuff, but that doesn't really matter as much, because at the end of the day, you can have the coolest design in the world, but then when you find out it doesn't fit the character and it doesn't fit the personality, I'm less interested. I love having a character that wears something that is so suited to them. And if that's a flannel, if that's like a character in another game wearing a flannel and just wearing some jeans and that fits them, that works too. Any character, I could bring up bad character designs, but I don't want to do that today in a video where I've already mentioned a great character designer like Akira Toriyama. I feel like that would be very, very silly to use this video to talk about something I don't like when I should be talking about stuff I do like. And one thing I really, really do like is character designs. I could take any number of character designs and talk about them for a million years on end. And like, I don't care personally for characters with bland styles, but again, as long as it fits, that's what matters. And again, it doesn't have to be flashy. Like I said, Ryo Hazuki from Shenmue doesn't have the flashiest design, but it looks good on him. That jacket is so iconic now at this point that it just works so freaking well. Emil's character from Nier Replicant is on the opposite side of that completely. Again, a crazy design, but again, it fits his personality. It's someone that he honestly would like, has his very self-conscious feelings about, is he ugly? Are people gonna like him? And it's not like how you would usually think. Some people would feel like that way in normal life, but they look at Emil who has like this real big quote-unquote disfigurement, and that disfigurement goes in this full circle that becomes almost cute again. It's him, it's his personality, and it just works. Honestly, like, having a good character design from your games is a really important thing, and I look back on Akira Toriyama's designs and how important they were for everyone, and how he is kind of one of the big reasons why we're playing a lot of the games that we love today, is like JRPGs. Dragon Quest was a big reason why JRPGs became popular to game devs, and game devs started making more Japanese RPGs. You look at something like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. That game is completely designed on the fact that the creator of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth loved Dragon Quest, and the main character in the game also loves Dragon Quest. You can see so many references to Dragon Quest and everything. Dragon Ball Z is still living on to this day as well. I've never seen Dragon Ball Z myself, but it's still something that lives on today. Chrono Trigger is still a game that people talk about endlessly. And I guess I would just say that, like, if I ever got the luxury of being able to, or the honor of being able to create characters for anything, a video game, I would hope that they're even somewhat close to being as memorable as something like an Naoki Urasawa's, or something like from a character from Xenoblade or Final Fantasy. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's get to the questions. Pokegirl says, rest in peace to a legend. And yes, it is. It's very sad. It's very difficult for a lot of people. Made a lot of people's lives a lot better, though. That's one of the best ways to look at it. V-Mika says, what decides a good character design for you? Could you show some examples with reasons? I hope I was able to do that in this video, but for me, like, it varies all the time. But it's a character, like I said, that can fit its style and fits its personality. You can see a lot of someone in the way they dress, I think it is, and that's the way I always like to look at it. Malcolm Condé asked, some of us here on the Patreon have their own cool game projects, each with varying degrees of progress, which makes me wonder, have you ever thought of making a game yourself, or at very least have a cool idea for a game in mind? I've always wanted to make a game about 3 women working in a local diner, played by Cher, Winona Ryder, and Christina Ricci. They'll all play just local women working, living their lives. You can live your life every day, but randomly at any point, a killer could arrive who's a local town-like serial killer and can attack you. Now, the thing is about this, I would love to create, it would take so much work, I wouldn't be able to do it. But I would love a game that were like, you could go 100 days living your life. By the way, you can go to the supermarket in this, you can meet up with friends, you can find love, you can get a new job, all this stuff. But at any point, maybe 4 days into the game, you get the serial killer arrives and you have to try and survive the serial killer, or maybe like 100 days down the line, or maybe never appears. That's what I would like to do. Something weird like that, but it has to star those 3 women who like need to be back together again. Thank you so much to my patrons who make all of these videos possible, who make me just being able to talk out of me butt on this channel possible. Thank you to Can Never Repay the Baby Gangsters, Ty502, Jamie Bull, Janet the Banana, Normal Kara, Rachel S, The Ghost of Inazuma, Felicitas Felix, George Candelaria, Eskun, Yuld, Radish, Pokegirl, Tedder, and Fruity. Thank you guys so much for everything. Tedder and Fruity.